All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another vlog. And, well, you may be wondering, Carter, you're from Canada. Why is there A, palm trees back there, and B, no snow on the ground? Well, it's because I'm somewhere very special for a very special race. But before we get to the on-track action that starts in about an hour, not going to be on time for that, got to do some shopping first because I flew in late last night and I've got nothing. So let's go. All right, here we go. First stop of the day for something that'll help me a lot this weekend.
There you go.
All right, package acquired. We're good to go. It's massive by the size of it and that logo. Some people may be able to detect what it is. A Walmart with palm trees. I can learn to like this place. But enough about the palm trees. Let's get some grocery shopping done. All right, both stops down. We are now heading back to the hotel quickly to drop the groceries off and stuff. Wasn't too bad. Got stuff for lunches, stuff for breakfast, a couple things for dinner. Came up to about 70 US, so 102 Canadian, I think is what Wealthsimple billed me. So, I mean, not terrible, especially seeing that you're stuck buying a bunch of prepackaged stuff anyways, just due to the limitations. So, I mean, I'll take what I can get. At least you know these guys take their stuff seriously. Look at that. Can you guess what it is yet? And here is what we actually want. There we go. I have got a 100 to 400 for the week. 10 days, it was actually pretty affordable. It is the extending one, unfortunately, but I mean, it is what it is. There's a protector on the front of it already. Not bad. I'm going to throw this in my camera bag, and we're going to get going to the track to watch some race cars.
Porsche celebrating its heritage. No big play, but all still with the philosophy. Still private. They're not over manufacturing as electric as open up today. Roll out that Evo Joker motor.
Alright, sorry for not giving an earlier update there. Things got busy real quick. Took the tram, arrived at the raceway, took the tram in, and since then it's been flat out hour and a half practice session for WeatherTech, which I guess I can say why I'm here now. I'm here for the Rolex 24 in Daytona Beach, Florida. And yeah, so it was hour and a half test session. Then I had to do some wandering. I've never been to this track before, so taking some time just to figure stuff out. And as you may be able to hear in the background, there is a lot of background noise going on. Planes flying over, the announcers. There's not a whole lot of quiet places. So trying to find places where I can talk to you without being interrupted is kind of hard. But I'm going to try to make it work, and hopefully it all comes out okay. The first race for the VP Racing Challenge is coming up next, so we're going to go ahead and shoot that. We'll probably be heading down to turn 3, I think. Turn 3, technically. We'll head down to turn 3 to shoot that, which is where I've also got some of my favorite photos from last session. So we'll head down there. We'll hopefully shoot the start from there, and we'll find our way from there. Hopefully be able to shoot some banking stuff, and we'll see what else. All right, let's get going.
The bigger picture that from the cockpit we just don't see. And that's what the team is on the radio there to try and communicate with the driver. That's another question, but you can see the yellow prototype in the background there starting to loom a little bit larger and he's breaking over. Chipping away, it's not likely to be enough to challenge for the outright lead of the race. To challenge for second with that time penalty. AJ Moss. They're still down to the Western Horseshoe. Man, great run by Moss. Really came off the West Horseshoe with a run, kind of on the high side. And I gotta wonder, we talked about Tyler, 45-minute sprint race. We've got 12 and a half minutes to go.
Alright, just a quick update. We are doing night practice now. Sorry if the audio quality is crap. I forgot my audio adapter in the car. But we are off to do night practice, 6:30 to 8:30 for the WeatherTech series. All right, well, that was an oopsie and a half on my end. My microphone ended up dying, and then I forgot I put the charger in my backpack. I thought I had left it at the hotel. Until I got back to the car at the end of the day and realized it wasn't at the hotel. It was indeed in my backpack. So, sorry about that. I think if the audio works out, the last thing I recorded was just before the night practice session for IMSA WeatherTech. It is now after that. It is 8:54. Session ended at 8:30. It was super cool. First time ever shooting cars in the night. Super difficult. Not sure how many of the photos actually turned out. It's tremendously difficult when you have headlights and all that other stuff. But we made it work anyways. Hopefully I made it work. Hopefully I can salvage something out of those photos. And before that last clip that may or may not be in, we had the VP Racing Challenge and the practice for the Michelin Pilot Challenge, which I left halfway through the Michelin Pilot Challenge to come back and have dinner. Well, lunch, technically, because it's in my car, and my car is on the outside of the track. So definitely some logistical hurdles for me to tackle, like lunchtime, and if I should bring it with me, or if I should leave it here, or whatever. Stuff that I can think over for the night. But until then, let's head back to the hotel, and hopefully I can sort through some of these photos.